Like, I'm gonna keep it real funky, which I'm gonna keep it hot. I was on child support at the time. I paid that with my credit card bill.
Coming up on the Melanin Money Show.
All retirement means is that I have enough money working for me so I don't have to.
My first 5 to 6 months in the financial literacy industry, I didn't get paid, but I had $40,000 in credit that I was able to leverage. I had to put food on the table. I had to pay the mortgage.
Dion's helped me get over $250,000 of funding. George is my personal financial advisor, who literally, I think I just made like $10,000 today off one play.
Wait a minute, I need to play.
If I tried to calculate how much money the opportunity cost, if I hadn't had my money invested over the past 10, 11 years, like I wouldn't, bro, I'd be sick.
This wasn't taught at home. You can't ask your parents about this because they don't know the answers. You can't ask your friends because they probably don't know the answers. And here's another thing. Don't ask money advice from people you wouldn't want to switch bank accounts with, period.
The purpose of investing is buying back your time. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode.
Another one.
Don't ever play yourself, of the Melanin Money Show. And y'all know we don't really do the repeat guest thing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of places in the world to see, a lot of destinations. You don't really travel back unless it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? If it's really like that, like, yo, I can keep tapping in. So we had to bring our brother Dion back on the show, man. Dion, how you feeling, man? How you doing?
Hey,
bro?
I'm all good, man. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be had.
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely, man. So, when we thought about running this back and doing another episode, it can't be what we did the last time. Right?
Yeah.
It has to definitely be a reason and intention and a purpose behind it. So, we decided to come back together to really kind of just touch on some topics that we feel like really are transformative for our community. Like, we're kind of just seeing like a very interesting wave right now. I think we've talked about it quite a bit on our podcast recently, just where people they have access to information, but unfortunately sometimes that information is coming without context. And people are getting information that they're not getting the full story, right? And so we wanted to make sure that we could bridge the gap and bring, a few gentlemen together who can really help people change and transform their situation.
Absolutely, man. I think that what I love about all three of us is that we are experts in the financial field and we are top in our space, whether it's credit, investing, and taxes. And I think that this would be just an amazing opportunity to just dive into financial literacy as a whole. And one thing I think we all should answer, like, because people ask me all the time, like, Carter, why did you decide to learn about money or taxes or whatever? And for me, it's simple. I didn't have money as a kid. And I saw people have money. Like they got money over there. They got a nice car. Why don't we got it? You know what I'm saying? And ask my parents that, get hit in the head with an iron. So So I took it upon myself. Was like, look, if I can't get the answer to money or why we don't have it, how we can accumulate more, if I can get answers from my parents, anybody around me, I have to seek it out myself. And I went to this just diving into books about money, financial literacy, understanding, because anything you don't know, you either fear it or you get curious enough about it to learn. I think so many of our people just fear it because they don't want to take the other route. So I'm curious of what y'all money story was, like as shorties, and what made you have the passion to pursue this part of financial literacy.
We'll let Dion go first.
For me, it was a concept. I think that God actually brought me to financial literacy because, like you said, it wasn't something that I learned at home. I was raised in a broken home, raised with my mom, and so she wasn't educated. Then when I went through grammar school, high school, college, I'm like, nobody's talking about money, right? And then when I had the courage enough in order to leave my job, I just really didn't know what field or what industry I wanted to do or what I wanted to get into. And so I just organically and naturally got led into financial service and financial literacy. And so while having no plans on what direction I was going to go in, I meet this guy and he starts telling me about financial planning. This was like, soon as I quit my job, I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm just going to relax. I had a little bit of money saved, but not a lot of money. But I'm like, this next 30 days, I just want to just kind of like take a break because I had worked corporate America for 8 years. I said, I just want to take a break. Within that time frame, I ran into the gentleman. He started telling me about how I could be my own contractor, work for myself and set my own schedule, be my own boss, and I can teach people financial literacy. I'm like, damn, well, my entire life, I've always liked money and finances, and people always come to me for financial education, but I never really was a professional in that industry. And so I say, you know what, this would be a way for me to not only learn it, but then be able to teach and help other people because nobody knew it. Like nobody had the answers to how money worked and how to multiply your money. And so I got into that industry and I just fell in love with it. Like it was just natural for me. Like talking to people about, life insurance and financial planning and retirement planning and how to save. And it was just, I'm like, dude, I like the way I feel. And I would go and I would sit down with people and I would be so passionate about educating them that I would get frustrated if they didn't take the information.
Yeah.
Like they would be like, well, you got this on the job and I'm like, but that's not enough.
Yeah.
Like, you need more. Like if you look at your income, you should have 10 times. Like I'm all in.
Yeah.
And if somebody let me leave their house without doing business with me, I was frustrated. I was like, I don't understand what they do. But also too, understanding that it was just ignorance. Nobody was taught. They didn't really know the importance of it. So for me, that learning those basics and fundamentals of financial literacy and life insurance planning, retirement planning, that also led me into the credit space. So I'm like, okay, like I want to help people really, like, because I was going to house. This is the main question: do you do anything with credit? And I'm like every other house. It's like every other house I went into, they always asked me about credit. I'm like, well, maybe this is something I need to educate myself on. So I dove into YouTube University and Google, and I'll just start looking stuff up and just self-educated on my. So now I'm like, you going to go take this one when I go in your house, or you gonna take this one when I go in your house? You gonna leave, you gonna get something.
Leave him with something.
So that was just my entryway into financial literacy. And so just seeing people, how it transformed people's lives and helping somebody with their credit, and now they get a house, or now they got their dream car, or now they able to take their family on vacation when they never was able to do this because they would have got one life. Yeah. And so for me, being able to see how it transformed and changed people, it was amazing for me. And so that's how I kind of got started with it.
Dope. Yeah. So for me, it started early, at least initial spark. It started earlier. And I remember like wanting a PlayStation, like the first PlayStation, OG one, when I was a kid. And I was like, asked my mom, I was like, yo, can I get the PlayStation? And she didn't say no, you know what I'm saying? And I kept asking her throughout the year. And then Christmas rolled around. And I saw a box, at least in my mind, it was shaped like it had to be the PS, the PlayStation. And then I opened the box and it was tube socks, right?
Wow.
And at that point, I couldn't connect the dots. I'm not realizing she's a single mom trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And she really did believe that, maybe, because there's a lot of years, January to December. Like, I'm not gonna say no because I might be able to figure it out. And when I opened the box and it was tube socks, I realized, I was like, in this world, if you want something, you gotta figure out how to get it.
Yep.
So that was the first thing. And then as a result of that, and just kind of seeing like how some of my family members were moving, and then like even asking me to borrow money. Like I was this frugal kid who had money just from like cutting grass and would never spend it on anything. And my aunts and uncles like would literally ask me to borrow money. And so fast forward to college, I got a double major in marketing and economics. Only got the economics degree so that I could understand how the economy works. And then when I graduated, it was during the recession. So marketing at the time was viewed as a luxury. We all know now that marketing is essential, right? You double down on marketing, right? In those times. But at the time, it was viewed as a luxury. So the job I was supposed to have at Coca-Cola, I didn't get it. And I was like, well, shoot, let me try this economics degree. Find myself in the financial services industry. I thought it was a job. I was like, why nobody else hiring, but they hiring? It's because it wasn't a job.
Facts.
It wasn't a job,
Facts.
right? It was to eat what you kill. And I remember like it was just, there's like 2 weeks that went by, and I'm like, yo, I didn't see a paycheck, and it was like, oh nah, bro, like that's not how it works.
Can I interject, please?
Yeah. 'Cause I know you know that
from being in that industry, this is what made me not quit. On what I do today. This is like part of why I still do what I do. We talking about 8 years later. Still being an entrepreneur, still out here educating people on financial literacy. The main thing for me was, like you said, my first 5 to 6 months as in the financial literacy industry, I didn't get paid. Now watch this. Here's the catch. I didn't get paid, but I had $40,000 in credit that I was able to leverage to continue to maintain and pay my bills, my car note, my mortgage. I had a mortgage at the time. I had a family at the time. So I had to put food on the table. I had to pay the mortgage, car notes, I'm gonna keep it real funky, I'm gonna keep it hot, humble, open, and transparent. I was on child support at the time. I paid that with my credit card bill. We talking about $40,000 of credit, 2 American Express, 1 Discover, total $40,000. That's what got me to the point to where, like, once I started making money, I was like, I'm like, God. But so for me, it was the credit piece. So that was my defining moment that I realized, how come nobody never taught me about credit?
Because it's the only thing that saved you.
It was the only thing that saved me.
In
this time, when I decided that I was going to go into business for self, credit was the only thing that saved me. I'm knocking on doors. I'm phone calling, I'm petting the dog, I'm kissing babies, anything for a sale, and couldn't make sales. And the little bit of sales that I did make, because if people with financial literacy know that when you are selling life insurance and doing financial planning, there's a process time. So somebody got to apply.
Oh yeah, underwriting.
They got to apply. They got to go through underwriting. Underwriting got to say yes or no. Then before the underwriter say yes or no, depending on the policy, they got to do an exam. They got to do a physical exam. So they got to come out there, draw blood, got to send it to the lab. The lab got to approve it. They get approved through underwriting. Then you got to wait the next cycle to get paid. So even if I did come in the gate swinging, doing great, I still would have waited about a month or so before policy would have got paid out. So I'm talking about my first 5 to 6 months in business, I had to leverage my credit to maintain my lifestyle until the money started coming in. Then I started paying the credit card, off. So that was my entryway, bro. Like, so I get it.
Yeah, that it was rough. You know what I'm saying? Like eating what you kill, hoping that stuff gets approved.
Jesus.
It was like, get 2 months. I think mine was 2 months. Luckily, I mean, you GOAT for 6.
Sticking with it.
Yeah.
Sticking with it.
I was like, okay, cool. Finally got paid. But I realized like you got to keep your lows high and your highs low, right? And no matter whether you have make $19 grand in a month or $19,
talk about it.
You have to treat it like I personally made 3, 4, or whatever you decide to pay yourself.
Yep.
And that was kind of my entry point, and just kind of seeing like when I had to do this exercise called Project 200, and they asked me to write down a list of 200 friends, families I would swap paychecks with. Like 200, like I ain't got 20, much less 200. Right. So I knew, I was like, well, somebody has to be that person who's going to bridge the gap and educate. And that was kind of my entry point to the industry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And for me, like people ask why I got in the tax space, and I wish I had a better answer than this, but I was graduating. I think I was graduating high school in 2009. So I was in a recession, right?
Yeah. That was right around there. Yep.
So I watched my auntie and them struggle, like who raised me, and like we can't, gas is $5 a gallon, and it's the world's on fire, and everybody get laid off. I'm like, yo, like what you go to school? Carter, what you want to go to school for? My guidance counselor. I'm like, yo, I want to not have to go through what they going through. So I literally Googled what job has the lowest unemployment rate, and CPA was number 1.
Wow.
Because no matter what's going on in the world, everybody still has to file a tax return.
Yep.
So that's what got me into the tax game. And but like you said, Dion, the tax game saved me in my entrepreneur journey as well. Because one thing I learned before I was about to go fully into entrepreneurship, I learned that if I had a job and I had a side hustle at the same time, that I can push my personal expenses into my side hustle, and then my side hustle would take a loss. Right. And then so when I started a side business, and I had all these expenses that related to my side business, and my side business ended up losing like $20,000 on paper because of all the expenses I had. Long story short, that $20,000 gets subtracted from my W-2 income at work. So when I filed taxes, bro, I got a $14,000 refund check.
Yeah, that's crazy.
With no kids. Like, I ain't got no kids.
No dependent.
$14,000 refund check. Then once that money hit my account, I then quit my job and was like, look, the way my expenses in side business is set up, if I have $1,000 like net loss per month. You know what I'm saying? So I got $14,000 saved. So I can survive 14 months if I don't make $1 in my business. Then I went into entrepreneurship, and I ain't make $1 for 4 months, 5 months. So like that first thing is real. People understand that, yo.
And after 2 weeks, people be ready to quit nowadays.
Talk about it.
It's a totally different ball game. But when you think about all the different components of financial literacy, because there's so much information on the internet right now, what made us realize that we kind of have this powerful trio is because at the end of the day, in order to grow to build wealth, right? You got to be able to have access to capital, right? To accelerate that journey, right? You have to be able to avoid paying unnecessary taxes, and you have to be able to acquire assets at the end of the day, right? And so we just really realized that there's kind of a symbiotic, relationship between those 3 pillars. So let's just kind of talk a little bit about like what you've learned on the funding and access to capital side of things in terms of how has that really help people, build wealth and just build their business as well.
Yeah. So for me, when I look at entrepreneurs in general, no matter what business you want to start or what you want to go into, if you so here's the deal. Most business fail within the first 2 years. And when we say most business, really mean like 33% of business fail in the first 2 years because they either have no guidance and no mentorship, or they have lack of capital. So now here's the thing that I realized with that. So if you got a mentor that can give you guidance and information, but you don't have any money to go execute on it, you're still stuck.
Right.
Right. So I realized that I don't care if you want to do Airbnb, I don't care if you want to do real estate, I don't care what you are looking to get into and what you want to do. You're going to need some money at some point in time to execute on that idea, that goal, or that dream.
Right.
Like even people in real estate, yeah, they have debt, but that's good debt. But everybody, like I would personally think that, and y'all let me know if I'm right or wrong, I think that the wealthiest people in the world is people that own real estate.
Well, that's a fact.
That's a fact, right?
I think 90% of the wealthy people in the world.
So then let's look at that. They became wealthy off of leveraging debt. They went to the bank and said, give me money, and I'm going to take this money and I'm going to go buy real estate, which didn't become an asset because, yes, I have a mortgage on this building, which is considered debt, but then it's good debt because that debt is bringing you back money. So then you get the money that's coming in and you pay that bill off, but then you still got cash flow that's coming in. So it's like, I realized that, okay, cool. So no matter who I'm talking to, they need me. Like it's not 9 out of 10 people that need me. It's 10 out of 10 people that need me. So if you're looking to go into business, you want to start your business, grow your business, scale your business, you're going to need access to capital. So I said to myself, especially when I knew that this was something that I was passionate about, I said, okay, cool. I'm passionate about it, but also too, and this is for every entrepreneur, you got to think about when you want to go into business, what's going to be around 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like what really has longevity? Like when people ask me like, what made you go into that? Well, first of all, I'm here because I'm not just passionate about it, but like, this is my calling. Like I'm in my purpose. Like I wasn't made to do anything else. So you don't say, oh, well, I'm gonna do credit too. Cause you may quit. Like you said, the first 2 weeks you may say, this is not for me. When I sit up and I do a call and I'm coaching people for 3, 4, 5 hours and I'm up to 1 o'clock in the morning and my wife don't understand how, well, it's easy for me. I'm in my bag. Like I'm helping people go from here to here because I understand if I don't give them the information, I don't get them the plays, then they can't go execute and live the lifestyle that they want to live. So for me, I'm watching, people get access to funding and credit by leveraging personal credit or business credit. I'm watching their lives literally change, and it almost seems like it's overnight. Yes, there is a process to it, but when you look at what's happening, people are becoming different. All off of just having access to capital and then knowing where to go put that money at.
Because that was my question. That was my question. I remember we talked about this at the mastermind. Like, a friend of ours felt guilty for teaching people credit and not giving them where to go with it. So how do you feel about that? Like, because we want to help people get credit, but if you have somebody get $100,000 in funding, but we don't give them the guidance on what to do with it, they might go see their friend Louis Vuitton and go have a field day.
Oh man, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? They might go see their friend Louis Vuitton, Louis V, and have a field day. I mean, it's no surprise why LVMH was one of the fastest growing stocks during the pandemic because people were taking the money they got and blowing it. So that's one thing that I love about what we're doing together. Like, because now that we teach people how to get funding, now we get GA to teach them how to take some of that money and invest it as well. Because we understand that, if you give a kid a Ferrari too early, he ain't gonna know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So
you know what I say to that? I feel like an entrepreneur who helps people, let's say, improve and enhance their credit, go get access to capital, they're doing a disservice if they're not giving anybody direction. The reason why I say that is kind of like, if you look at college, it's not that college didn't work for us. It's actually college did work for us. It worked the way that they wanted it and they designed it to work for us. So they didn't, before you decide to go out and get student loans and all of that, nobody sat you down at the table and said, listen, what do you like doing? What are you good at? What do you want to go into? What do you want to major in? After this 4 years, what direction do you want to take your life in? Nobody said that. So what people did is they said, I'm going to just do what society told me to do because it's frowned upon if I don't go to college. So I'm going to go to college. I'm going to take out, I don't care what student loans I got to get because I can't go back home. If I go back home, they will be like, oh, you a loser. You dropped out. Like, so now what are you going to do? So you don't want to go through that. So you go through college, you take out all this money and then you graduated, you lost, but you still got all this debt. It's the same thing. If an entrepreneur is telling people to go get access to cash and capital and funding, but not giving you a game plan, it's the same thing.
That's crazy. My first time ever thinking about it like that.
It's the same thing. There's no difference. So now you got all these people that went to college like society has told us, and they graduated just to get what we would call a good job. But the problem with that is that you went to college, you learned from a guy that makes $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year. He can only teach you to where he's at. So he can teach you up to 60 grand. So you graduate trying to figure out, why is it that I'm struggling? I make $60,000 a year, maybe 42 and some change after the tax man hit you. And you trying to take care, you got a wife, you got 2 kids. You trying to figure out why this is, Why this is not the picture that they paint? It is the picture that they painted.
100%.
It's the picture that they painted.
And that's the reason why I've been so reluctant and haven't on the digital product game, because it's like I never wanted to be that guy who's like, oh, I'm gonna teach you how to invest, right? And I know either one, you're not gonna have the discipline to, really understand the game, and also understand at the end of the day, if you're not investing in SME 500 first, like I can tell you how to invest, but that's $200-300 a month, like it's cool, it's cute, you know what I'm saying? It'll sell a course, you know what I'm saying? But that just was very hard for me why I maintained my service-based business, because it was just like, I know if my firm can actually work with you, we're gonna get you right? We're gonna help you understand all of the components. And so I think it's just so important to have that context. Like my biggest thing that I've been passionate about over the last, I'd say 90 to 120 days is bridging the gap between limiting beliefs and the oversimplification of success, right? And the missing link is context, right? It's like they see somebody make $100K in a day, $1 million in a day, or 6 figures, and then it's just a person over here who's still in the job and can't barely figure out how to make 50, 60. Of course they're gonna think it's a scam without context, because you're making it seem like it's all bed of roses. You on the beach. They don't know about chat assassins. They don't know about all the things behind the scenes. They don't know about all the sleepless nights that you had to do to build that enterprise, right? You know what I'm saying? And so my whole thing is like, it is possible.
Hey, aren't you tired of buying courses in those emotional states when you want to get a result, but then you actually don't do anything with the course? Do you know on average, the completion rate for a course is about 2%? But here's the thing, it's not entirely your fault. The problem is you buy the course, but you don't have access to the source who actually created it.
See, that's why we're doing something different. With the Melanin Millionaire Club, you're not just gonna get access to courses, you'll get access to the people who created it so you can get your questions answered. Because it's not just about learning, it's about taking that information so you can start earning. So the Melanin Millionaire Club is gonna give you access to courses, but not just that, it's an entire university of information. We have financial flicks, we have hundreds of previous recordings, but more than that, y'all, we have an amazing community of people just like you who are trying to become a first generation millionaire. So like GA said, like you can survive without community, but you can't thrive without community. So this is the place you need to be, right?
100%, because here's the thing. If it was just about information, we'd all be billionaires with 6-packs. So that's why every single Monday, we're going to set the tone for your week with Melanin Millionaire Mondays, where our entire community is going to meet up. The energy is going to be high. We're going to set the intention for what we're going to execute on so we can move the needle forward, and Carter and I and the rest of our team can keep you accountable.
So that's enough information. You see the rest in the club. All you got to do, click the link below, sign up, and start your journey to your first millionaire year. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Right. But here's the full story, right? And not to overwhelm you in a sense to where you're not willing to start, but at least you have the understanding that why it's possible, and that you can do it too. And so for me, the reason why the investing component of everything is so attractive is because when you think about what I just said about being successful, when it comes to having a successful business, you got to have sales, marketing, operations, right? All sorts of things, good credit, right? But when it comes to investing, all you need is a brokerage account, a little bit of cash, you know what I'm saying? And you can start investing like immediately, right? And that's it's very, very attractive to me, because me now as a new dad, it's like, time, autonomy is most important to me. And so I wanted to like really help people understand like how to dispel like the main myths around building wealth. And I feel like it comes down to like 3 main things, right? It's like, number one, right? Building wealth has nothing to do with age and everything to do with assets.
For sure.
Right. So the reason why it's important to go get that capital to accelerate your business is because instead of you waiting 40 years to get $1 million in an investment account, you can go get that million today.
For sure.
Right. You know what I'm saying? If you know what you're doing. And then from there, it's like, okay, well, now that I know it's not about age, it's about assets. Well, then the next myth is understanding it ain't about accumulating a bunch of money. It's about cash flow, right? The average person, they just need to look at their lifestyle. How much does it cost me to run my lifestyle? Is it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 thousand a month? Okay, cool. How can I position my money to where I can get that cash flow so I'm not waiting all this time to try to accumulate this big number? Right. And then the last but not least, which is one that I know you resonate with, is being able to tap into leverage, right? To be able to accelerate your journey towards wealth, but whether that's going out and getting outside funding and acquiring assets, or whether it's borrowing against your actual assets that you have to go out and get more assets, because both of them are powerful, right? Because if you learn what Dion can teach, it's like, okay, boom, I can now arbitrage that. I can go invest in this Airbnb. I can invest in this and get the excess cash flow and profit, or you can leverage what I'm talking about and having collateral and assets and being able to borrow against that, right? And so when people can understand that those 3 myths, it can radically transform and expedite their journey. So my claim to fame is I help people get to financial independence 3 times faster. And the reason being is because I dispel those 3 myths and I show you how to take those same dollar and invest it 3 times. And if you can't get there 3 times faster doing that, then
That's your fault.
I don't know what else to tell you, player.
Yeah. And I think for me, like once you understand how money works, it's fun.
Right.
Wow.
Like it's fun
It's a game.
dealing with money because it's just a game. You're like, oh, they did that. They did that. Oh, that's how it works. Or you mean to tell me I can go borrow money, I can go get a real estate property, I can get cash flow, right, from the real estate property, and then, oh, wait a second, I get to depreciate the property so I don't got to pay taxes on the money that I made from other people's money? Wait a second. I now can go borrow against the value of my property, take out a loan, and that's tax-free too. I can pay you start like, this is a literal game.
It's unfair.
It's unfair and that people can win. I don't care whether you black, white, green, yellow, brown. Everybody can play this game. Everybody can win this game. Here's my thing though. As a people, we can't win the game if we don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we would never go step on a basketball court without knowing the rules. We would never go try to play baseball without knowing the rules. But we approach the game of money. We approach the game of credit. We approach the game of investing. We approach the game of taxes every single day without learning the rules of the game. And then we get the nerve to be mad when we losing.
Yep.
Of course you're gonna be losing because you don't know if you're winning or losing because you don't know the rules.
Yep.
Right. So I think that like that's why like for me, and I think that was why we came together, is just to have a wake up call to our people. Like, yo, we're halfway through the year right now.
Right.
We are not gonna let the rest of this year go by without making some changes on how we can not just free ourselves, but free our family and free up our money and our freedom by like understanding how money works. Once you solve the money problem, the rest of the problems in life ain't that big of problems anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. At least your head can be above water to be able to make decisions on.
Let me get them a secret that's not a secret.
Okay.
To bridge the wealth gap, you just need good credit.
Okay.
That's it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because it's like, let's just be honest, like, what's the one thing that they're not teaching in school? There's not none of what we talking about.
Yeah.
Credit for sure.
They're not talking about credit at all.
Yeah.
They ain't teaching about taxes. They ain't teaching about investment strategy. They not teaching none of that. So once you can get this figured out, you'll be good. But the foundation is the one thing that nobody is really being taught and talked about is just have a good credit score, bro. Like most people, there are people that are okay with a 400. Like they like, what does it matter?
Right.
Yeah.
That you don't even know what kind of game is being played.
The bad part about credit, bro, is that having no credit is bad credit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you just not doing nothing is still bad.
Right.
Like you can't say I ain't doing nothing, so I'm good. No, it's still bad.
And look, hold on, watch this though. Watch this piece. Having good credit and doing nothing is even worse.
People brag about having an 850. I'm like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
In my DMs all day, like, okay, I got 800 now. What? Leverage it.
Yeah, use it.
You need to get with me. So you just putting all this money down the drain because you don't understand the power of what you actually have.
Yeah.
And so it's a concept of if more adolescents and adults can understand how powerful credit is, and they can start to play the game of credit, and then you teach this to your children and add them on your credit as authorized user and help them start building credit, understand the importance of, like, I talk to my kids all day about credit. Like I ask them simple questions like, should you use a debit card or a credit card? They be like, credit card. Like they know the basic stuff. Like I told my daughter, I'm like, I'm gonna add you as an authorized user. I'm telling her why she's gonna get added. Because she's asking for money now. She's 15. My son too, 14. So now that they ask for money, I don't want to give you cash. I don't want to Zelle you. I want to use Cash App. I'm gonna add y'all as authorized user on my credit card. I'm gonna set a limit to that joint. You're gonna tell me what you want, when you want, how you want. I'm gonna tell you use that card. But I'm gonna teach you these principles so that way as you get older, you know how to build credit, you know how to leverage credit, you know the importance of credit. At least the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying?
What's the biggest myth about? Go ahead.
I'll say the problem is people are on the wrong side of the transaction, right?
Yep.
So it's like with credit, they hear debt, right? They don't hear leverage. They hear I go out and buy the liability, right? And by the time I'm finished paying it off, I pay back more in interest than I got it for, right? They don't understand the other side of it, right? And so you got to get on the right side of the equation. I think that's the issue, right? Because in our society, people will run up a bag on Louis V or designer or all these things,
Right.
and don't realize that same tool, you can leverage it, right? To build wealth. It's like compound interest.
You can either rent out your Louis V if you. I mean, what we doing?
Yeah.
Take that belt and that outfit you just bought.
Yeah.
When you get done with it, say, hey, bro.
Yeah. You want to wear the same next video, bro? hey, rent this joint.
It's loud anyway. You're not gonna wear it, but so many times anyway. You know what I'm saying? But like people just don't understand how to get on the right side of the equation. Like with taxes, right? It's like if you're an investor or an entrepreneur, you're on the right side of the game. Yeah. With investing, right? If you're an investor, you're on the right side of compound interest. Yeah. With credit, if you leverage it to acquire assets, you're on the right side of it. People are just on the wrong side of the equation.
So what's one of the biggest myths in your industry that you think you just must dispel? Right?
That's good.
Like, I can start if and then get time to think. So I think the biggest myth I have to dispel is that people think by not paying taxes is a bad thing. Like the reason I start off every lesson, I ask people, are you scared of not paying taxes? Because I can give you all the game. If you psychologically believe that not paying taxes is a bad thing, then you won't run any of the plays I'm about to tell you. But like people need to understand, like, here's why the government imposed taxes is because they're going to take our money to do things they must do. They're going to take our money. They're going to use it to offer jobs to people. They're going to take our money, use it to build housing. They're going to take our money and do the things that they need to do to stimulate the economy. They don't care who does it. They just want to get it done. So if you want to use your money to help stimulate the economy, they will let you keep it. So when it comes to like being an entrepreneur, as entrepreneurs, we create jobs. So the government's like, yo, if you're creating jobs, Dion, you're creating jobs, George, I'm gonna you ain't gonna pay that much taxes because you're doing my job for me. Instead of me having to take your money and open up jobs, you doing that for me.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, George, you investing in real estate? Oh, cool. Okay, bet. Now that you're investing in real estate, we don't have to take your money and use it for affordable housing. You just use your money to buy real estate. So the government, you're doing the government a favor. If you do them favors, they'll let you not pay taxes because all they're gonna do is take your money and employ it the way they want to employ it. So if you beat them to the punch and do what they want you to do first, they'll let you keep your money. Yeah. And once people understand that that's how you win the tax game, by like doing the government's work for them and to your own benefit, instead of letting them take your money to do it first, then that's what they want you to do. They don't care about you. They don't care if you pay zero taxes. If you help create jobs and you help stimulate the economy, you help provide the housing, they don't care. You help supply oil or whatever, they'll let you keep all your money because the job is getting done. They don't care. They don't care who does it.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, it's a two-part fold. So the first myth and layer that I have to get past is that, like I always ask the question, like, and I think this is what makes us good, because when you have somebody who is really endowed in like what they do, they don't just like give you information. They actually ask you questions to gain understanding, to give you the knowledge based upon what you do or don't understand. So for me, I asked a question. One of the main questions said, well, what do you guys know about credit, or what were you taught? And so the main thing that I get is that it's for emergencies, it's for gas, and it's stay the hell away from it. That's what it's like. Everybody that's watching this video right now, they shaking their head right now like, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. It's for emergencies, or use it for gas, or stay the hell away from it. It's the three things.
The gas is an emergency.
Right. So my thing is, I gotta get you past, that's not what that is, right? That's not what that's for. Then once we get past that layer, the second piece is, all right, so now I gotta get the people that were already past that first layer, now I get everybody on the same level playing field. It's two sides of the fence. Either you're going to be using credit and just creating debt, like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, partying, kicking it, hanging out, having a good time, buying that purse, or that stuff that you didn't need. Or you're on the other side where you leverage it, where you say, okay, cool, I'm gonna use this credit to go out there to accumulate assets to bring me back in income. Because most people, like 99% of people, they're just using credit, and they go out there and they buy stuff that they don't need, and then when they look up when it's time to pay the bills, that's a whole nother bill. Right. Like my credit is not a bill. Like my credit, I use that to go out there and use it for my business expenses, marketing, advertising, branding. It brings me back more money. I go out there, use my credit, I acquire real estate like I just did. I just invested in a 64 unit. Then turn around 2-3 months later, invested in a 60 unit. So now I got this money coming in from real estate, but it was all because I just leveraged my credit. Now, if I would have never leveraged my credit and I was just out here using credit, I'm drowning in debt like most Americans. We just drowning in debt. When, like you said, most people are just on the wrong side of the fence. So my thing is, I just try to get people past the understanding that it's not for emergencies, or stay the hell away from it, because that's all that your parents taught you. And it's cool. I understand. No disrespect to mama, no disrespect to granny, but they don't understand. They don't understand credit. They never understood it. So the best thing that a person could do is get them a coach. So now that you have come to me and I'm your coach, I get past that first layer, then I just teach people how to leverage it. That's the piece.
Yeah, for me, the biggest myth is easy. That investing is risky, right?
The riskiest
thing that you can do is not invest, right? Because the thing is that the people
Where did that come from?
That's crazy.
But what did investing is risky? Like who?
Because it's unknown. Because if you
It's unknown.
Yeah, if
Okay,
you
fear
pick
what you don't understand.
if you pick
Okay.
an individual stock and it doesn't do well, in theory, like it could go belly up, right? So the biggest myth is that it's risky, but people don't realize it's the illusion of not being risky is having your money in the bank account, right? Because your purchasing power goes down every single year. So you might still be looking at that $100 or that $1,000 or whatever it is that you got, but every year when you go try to go buy something, like, yeah, I sworn last year it wasn't.
You're like, damn, why gas so this damn expensive?
Yeah. You're still looking at the same 1,000, but what you can buy with that 1,000 continues.
If the
increase.
banks,
Talk about it.
If the banks were like, they're not gonna do this. It would cost them so much money.
To show
like
your actual purchasing power,
actual
your
purchasing
balance
power is
versus-
decreasing. Yeah.
Ooh,
People
wee.
would. People were like, oh wait, I had $1,000 yesterday.
Don't worry, I'm working on a calculator right now. I told Deja 2 weeks ago. Like, working on a calculator. Yeah.
Hey, now that'd be cold.
Like if you had $1,000 in your account last year, it should say like 925 this year because it's not the same.
It's not the same.
But because it's
Wow.
1,000, people still see
You still see
1,000.
it.
They think that it's just all there, but it's not.
Wow.
Yep. So that's the biggest myth, and people just think that if I invest my money in the stock market or whatever, like I'm gonna lose it. But like if I tried to calculate how much money the opportunity cost of how much money I would have lost if I hadn't had my money invested over the past 10, 11 years, like I wouldn't, bro, I'd be sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so just understanding how money really works, and that the number one, like, let's just start here, right? When you think about retirement, right? All retirement means is that I have enough money working for me so I don't have to. That's it. Full stop.
Yep.
Right? It's not, I gotta wait till I'm 65. It's not anything other than, oh, my money's doing the work, and it's enough soldiers working for me that me doing the work is optional.
Yeah.
Right? And so if people can understand that the purpose of investing is buying back your time, right? You are able to buy back your life when you have assets that can cover your expenses, right? That's huge, right? Like life is meant to be lived. Like granted, we have a purpose and we're going to be doing what we do optionally, right? For the foreseeable future, but gone are the days where you got to slave away for 20, 30, 40 years of your life only to enjoy it for another 10. You know what I'm saying? Look at life. The average life expectancy is 77 years old.
Yeah.
That's
Right? You retire at 65.
And these ain't working the same.
You know what I'm saying?
You in Barcelona trying to walk around.
Yeah.
Taking a nap by 4 o'clock.
I'm trying to live while in my prime, right? I'm trying to enjoy this thing called life, man. And investing allows you to buy back your time.
You want to hear something crazy? So I got a FaceTime yesterday, and it's directly to what you talk about. I got a FaceTime yesterday, and I'm not even gonna say nobody's name, but the gentleman FaceTimed me. He said, Dion, look where I'm at. So he was in Miami eating lunch with his girl, having a good time. He said, my questions, and this is just me and him just talking. He said, my question I ask most people is, why go on vacation? We could just live a vacation, Dion. He was like, he said, Dion, we live in a vacation. Our life is a vacation. Yeah. Because the crazy part about it is most people, they first of all, you struggling to go on vacation because you already know that every single month you got more month you got money. That's a problem for most people. Right. But then you request a vacation request, and then you spending a little bit of money that you had saved up. But then when you get on that plane and reality sits in, this is what everybody say. Damn, back to reality.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why can't a good life and a good lifestyle be reality?
The problem is people spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning out their financial future. Right? Ask someone, on average, they spend at least 2 weeks a year mapping out their money. You wouldn't get one yes.
Nope.
You wouldn't get one yes. But best believe that temporary escape, though, in Tulum, you know, they got
And that's an expensive escape. First of all, Tulum is not where you want to go if you ain't got it. Tulum costs just as much as Miami with half the experience. Man. Go somewhere.
But people during the pandemic, I don't know what it was. But people but Tulum was the spot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like people spend so much time on temporary escapes when if you just spent time, you could create a permanent escape. Right? You could create a permanent escape if you just invested the time.
Well, speaking of investing the time, we're having an opportunity where people can invest some time with us.
Big facts.
So that they can have that lifestyle that they want to live. We're all living our dream life. We all know that the quicker you get to your dream life, the longer you get to enjoy it. So one thing that I know we really masterminded about was what can we do together
Yep.
at the midpoint of the year to let people be able to spend time with us to know how to leverage their money so their money can start making money babies and they can start living their dream life as well. So, we came up with this 5-day challenge, get the bag, keep the bag, invest the bag, where I think we're hitting on the main pillars of having financial freedom and building generational wealth. Because you can't build it without credit, you can't build it without investing, and no matter if you build both of them, if you ain't keeping the money, you give it half of it away. So let's just talk about this get the bag, keep the bag, invest the bag challenge and what we all plan on teaching the people, man.
I mean, if you get to spend 5 days with us virtually, right? We know that, people
ain't leaving the house. Let's they go to Tulum.
Yeah, they ain't leaving the house. Right? So you can keep the bonnet on, you can keep the do-rag on or whatever, and have 5 days. The energy's still gonna be like it's in person, but 5 days with us, where we're gonna show you, where I'm personally gonna show you again how you can take the same dollar and invest it 3 ways so you can get financially free 3 times faster, right? Like that's as simple as I can put it. So if you are tired of having to do the same thing over and over and over again, and you can't see a way out of the tunnel, I guarantee if you come to this challenge, you're gonna see a way out.
Yeah, definitely. And so, my piece when it comes down to this is, and this is what I love about what we're doing, because it's not just really about my piece, it's about all 3 of us as a unit. But what I love is that this challenge is not just for, somebody working 9 to 5. It's not just for the entrepreneur. It's for everybody. So no matter where you at in this journey called life, we're here to help you. So my piece is, I'm going to show you how to get a 700 credit score and over 100K in funding. Like if you show up, I am going to give you the blueprint. I'm going to give you the roadmap. I'm going to show you, I'm going to break down and not only just show you how to do that, but I'm going to show you why you need to do that. I'm going to give you the fundamentals. I'm going to give you the backstory. I'm going to give you the details. I'm going to give you everything that you need so that way you have a solid foundation when it comes to credit and financial literacy on why is it that I need to execute on this and really take this information serious. So spending 5 days with us, I mean, to be honest, hey, listen, I don't know where else they can be. I don't know what would be a better place, especially like you said, going into the second half of the year. Going to the second half of the year, if you know that you didn't do what you were supposed to do with the first half.
Big facts.
Now come on,
playing from behind.
Come on now.
You down 20 at halftime.
Yeah, it's halftime. We down. Yeah. We want to get you back in the game. We want to get you back focused. We want to get you financially fit. So that way, as you end the year, when you really say Happy New Year, right? You really mean Happy New Year.
Big facts.
Not like Happy New Year.
Yeah, because some people are just reliving the same year over and over again. Facts. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just got to have that realization. It's like, it's very simple, right? It's like, if on January 1st, you step on a scale and you weigh 180 pounds, 200 pounds,
you talking
on December... on December 31st, if you weigh the same thing, was that a successful year? Just buy in there, yes or no? Like, right? Yeah. If you had $100 in your bank account on January 1st and December 31st, if you got a 98, like, was that a successful year? And sometimes people are afraid to face the most brutal facts of their reality because it's painful to look at. But you cannot change what you do not face.
Yeah, and I want to make this clear because I don't want people to only say I'm going to show up because I got bad credit or I got credit challenges. Right. I need the people to have good credit to show up too. Because I want to teach you how to leverage your credit as well. So don't listen. You ain't exempt. You're not exempt from this. So you gotta be in the room because we finna show up and show out for sure.
It's gonna be crazy, man. And y'all gonna teach me how to get the bag. Invest the bag. I'm gonna teach them how to keep the bag because I know, again, if you're making 100,000, you're giving away 50,000. What are we doing? They're making $1 million, giving away $500,000. What are we doing? So I think what we have is going to be just phenomenal for the people because people need to understand that they deserve to have this dream life now. Yeah. And the only thing that's stopping is the lack of information. We know the information changes the situation. So if you want to be in the room with us, just go to getthebagchallenge.com. To get in the room and you'll see the different seats, VIP seat. You obviously get some more time with us, but we're doing this for you all. We're all good financially. We don't need to do any of this, but we understand that this wasn't taught at home. You can't ask your parents about this because they don't know the answers. You can't ask your friends because they probably don't know the answers. And here's another thing: don't ask money advice from people you wouldn't want to switch bank accounts with. Period. So we are people that have done it for ourselves and that help each other. Dion's helped me get over $250,000 of funding. George is my personal financial advisor who literally, I think I just made like $10,000 today off one play.
Wait a minute, I need to play. I need to play. And listen, and look, and while we giving flowers, I was able to buy a Lamborghini last year because Carter gave me plays. Like he helped me save so much money. Like I was like, dang, I made this money and then I saved it. I'm like, what I'm gonna do with it? He like, buy yourself a car. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I can do that. That's cool. And then not only that, I got the Lamborghini. Then I went and got I was at the same time 64 unit building.
Yeah.
That was all off for the tax strategies in place. So it's like, bro, come on now.
Get in the room.
Get in the room.
Get in the room. And we're creating this virtual room for y'all, man. So tap in. Man, it's gonna be a great time.
Yep.
I mean,
it's gonna be lit.
When is it? When is it not?
When
about?
is it not? When is it
You know
not
what I'm saying?
about?
When is it not? A
And
great
I think we doing those 5 days is what, July
31st,
July 31st
to August 4th. Yeah.
So listen, you get to end the month of July with us, go into a whole new month of August with us, and we're gonna set you up so you can be financially free for the rest of the year. It's
And
gonna
we
be good.
timed it strategically. Right? Again, we know we're at that halfway point, right? So you literally gonna close out the halfway point of the year, knowing that you got everything you need to turn up.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Turn up in the next
I think y'all we doing something else for the people that go like VIP or something.
Oh, we did some special stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
we should record something for them right now while we're together.
Yeah,
All
let's do
right,
that.
let's do
do
it. Hey, look, get the bag challenge.com.
Yep.
Get your seats. See y'all in the room. Don't meet us there. Beat us there. Go grab your seat right now. Link below is in the chat. I mean, it's in the show notes, and we'll see you all there.
Absolutely. If y'all enjoyed this episode, y'all know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If it ain't 5 stars, don't leave it. Send us a DM. Let us know how we can get better. 'Cause we don't need to mess up. We don't need to mess up our stats. And we appreciate y'all. Until the next time.
Peace.